Hello, everybody. Going on. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. You should be on. Hi, Paul. Hi, Grant. Waiting for Scott. I've been waiting for the Scott. I've been waiting for Scott. I've been waiting for Scott. It might be the bad connection. I see you. It says waiting for Scott to connect. Hi, Ignacio. All right. I'm gonna hit cancel and I'm gonna try this again because it seems like it got frozen. Let's try it again. Let's see. Hi, Ariel.
Hello.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
It's the internet these days.
Right. How's life?
Good. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Yeah, you've been putting
Are
out
you
lots of
still
great
are you still in Austin?
Yeah, I'm in Austin. So when we got shut down in production, I just decided to stay here, so where we
Yeah.
were born. So might as well stay in Texas.
True. I'm a Texas girl myself. I love Austin.
No, I didn't know how this was. Oh, Ariel, hi. I didn't know how long this was going to last. So we just figured might as well stay here. Dewey was here. Zach is here. So
Yeah, and that house you're seeing is so gorgeous.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean,
amazing.
twice the size of what we have in LA, and it's got a pool. Even though with my complexion, I don't even use the pool.
So, did you get through any of Queer Eye filming, or was it just canceled from the start?
No, we got through almost the first episode, and then we got put on hold. Yeah.
It's such a bummer for the person because I'm sure, it's like a
Uh,
life-changing experience.
yeah, no, we got through the whole thing with their part. There was only like some
That's
back
good.
stuff that we needed to. Yeah. No, so it worked out really well for our hero because we got through everything we needed to with them.
Because
There
like
was just
right
some.
before the house reveal, it's like, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That
no,
would be so sad.
no. Luckily, that didn't happen. That would be horrible because then they wouldn't be able to see their house until I let them.
Right.
So, what have you been doing besides making amazing, entertaining content?
Oh my God, thank you. I've just been chilling. We've been cooking, eating, playing Animal Crossing. I've been making like silly songs, and then working on pentatonic stuff.
Nice. So how's Mark?
Mark is good. He cut my hair yesterday.
I know I watched. I was very
Look at
impressed.
this fade.
I was very impressed.
It's not bad.
Didn't
This
you
is
cut
first
his as
time.
well?
I cut his hair as well.
Yeah.
Are you and Dewey cutting each other's hair?
No, he asked me to, but the last time we got stranded inside during Hurricane Sandy, I tried to cut it.
Didn't go well.
No, luckily we were also stranded with my friend Lauren who owns salon, so she fixed it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's
no,
good.
it didn't. Dewey's hair like Mark's. It sticks straight out on the sides.
I was terrified.
Yeah, I messed it up. So
But my friend Justin Harding like took me step by step, and it helped.
if I actually had the right clippers to do it, I would. But all I have is like the little body hair trimmer thing, and that's
Oh yeah,
probably not a good
yeah.
idea.
We got like the legit thing.
Nah, it's not for that.
Have
So I
you
have.
like? Go ahead.
No, so I have like
I
what?
was gonna say, have you left the house at all?
Just to like go on walks. The neighborhood we live in is this beautiful, as you can see, like beautiful tree-lined neighborhood, and we just go walk around in the middle of the street so we don't walk by anybody on the sidewalks. And social
Right, you
distance.
like wave from a
I'm
distance.
like, hey.
And I feel like everyone's been a little more friendly because we're like when we're outside, I feel like everyone's like, hey, getting some sun, gotta get out. It's like
Yeah, they're like, hey, I haven't seen anybody in days. I
yeah.
mean, At least you and I are lucky enough to, at least be quarantined with our husbands.
Yeah.
It got to be hard for those people who are quarantined by themselves at the moment. A lot of taking your lawn
100%.
chair to the end of your neighbor's driveway and sitting there and talking with a glass of wine,
Yeah.
which would
Yeah.
be cute. I almost wish we were home because we know a lot of our neighbors and we'd be able to hang out across the
We could pull
street.
up in the car and like hang out from 6 feet
Yeah.
away.
Here I've met a few of the neighbors, but like two of our neighbors are also nurses. So they've been quite busy and
Sure. Yeah.
definitely need some social distancing. So we haven't really got to meet anybody while we're here. No.
Yeah. I'm LOLing at the comment saying like, why are you doing a live with yourself?
Oh, see, that makes me happy because, I'm a good decade older than my little brother. So
Yeah. Well, you're aging perfectly.
thank you. That's what happens when you marry a facial surgeon. So it's cute. I don't know. Probably people don't even know how we met. So a little backstory on how Scott and I met. It was, I think, like right after season 1 of Queer Eye had come out, and Karama was like, "Oh, I'm going to this guy's house for a party," and I didn't even know whose house I was going to. And I walk in, and it was your house, and I was like, quietly fangirling out. I'm like, "Oh my God, I love him," because I'm super into music. For those of you guys who don't know, like what Scott does was always my dream of what I wanted to do. So it was kind of like my little gay Los Angeles dream of walking in, and there's Scott and like Betty Who, and like everyone was just sitting around Scott's grand piano, just like singing show tunes. I'm like, literally, it was my little gay dream.
I love that so much.
There was probably got 50 to 100 people, and so many amazingly talented singers were just chilling in your living room singing, and everybody was singing along. And I was like, and again, this was like right after Queer Eye had come out. I was still like super, super nervous to be around anybody, especially people that I was, had such respect for in the industry. So it was a very interesting experience.
That was such a fun night too. That was like such a special night. I'm so glad that the first time we met was on that night, because everyone that sings in LA was there, and it was just like, it was the best.
And then
you're inspiring me to want to do another one.
Yeah. What was it called? Midsummer?
The Great Indoors.
The Great Indoors. I was like, Midsummer Nights?
Yeah, Midsummer Nights.
Great Indoors.
Yeah, the Great Indoors, and it was just like all the best singers in the world just singing, and it was really special. Yeah.
It was funny. The second night we met was also at your house for the same thing, and it was the day we shot the Queer Eye music video with Betty Who. And I still didn't really know you very well, but I'm like, I want to cultivate this friendship because I just want to be his friend. So I went to your house for this thing by myself. And I'm not one to go to parties by myself. I actually am very much an introvert if I don't know you and in group settings. So I went, and I remember I was so freaking nervous and terrified to come in there. Because
I never knew that. I was always like, oh, this confident guy that's on Queer Eye.
Oh my God, crazy. No, I was so freaking, and I came in with like eye makeup on still because I just shot that music video and we ran late, and so I didn't even have time to go on the stage. And so I'm walking in, and like people that were like, what the hell is this guy doing walking in with like big old black eyeliner on? And but hey, Adam Lambert was there, and he's like, I like your makeup, so it worked.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember hanging out for maybe like 20 minutes, and then you went to sing, and I was actually so nervous I left. I was like,
no way.
Yeah, I was so uncomfortable.
I did not know that.
Because I didn't know anybody there. And so I was like, kind of trying to talk to people. I like talked to Mark for a few minutes, and then like he went up to like sit next to you while you were playing. And I'm like, I had such anxiety. I left.
It's funny because I had anxiety that night too. Just like randomly,
really?
like creeped in. Yeah. And I was like singing, and I remember being really nervous. That's so funny.
Yeah. So that was the second time. And then after that, I don't even remember how we kept hanging out, but after that, like
I remember
we were more one-on-one.
Yeah. We started hanging out one-on-one. I remember in New York we went out with Cramo and you, and then I'm trying to think, and then we did like a double date.
Yeah, we started hanging out one-on-one, and then like once I'm one-on-one, I'm good. It's just like big group settings, especially like your parties can be a bit intimidating, especially for somebody who like loves music, and like all the people that were sitting there at the piano just like chilling and playing. To
Yeah.
me, I was like, oh God, you know.
Well, the thing is, I'm
Um,
literally like a professional singer, but I like was so terrified just because everyone there is so good and no one's judgmental, but it's still
so,
very vulnerable and scary to like do anything.
but let me also set the tone for everybody here. When Scott says, "Oh my God, I was so nervous to sit there and play on the piano with 3 Grammys sitting next to it." Oh my God, I'm so nervous to sing with
Yeah,
you
but
on
you
stage.
have that kind of like imposter syndrome where you're like, am I gonna mess up and everyone's gonna realize I'm not deserving of these? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, I have that every day.
it's so scary. I'm like, is everyone gonna realize I'm a fraud?
No, the moment you open your mouth, they realize that's not the case.
Oh, thank you.
Um, so when did you start singing?
I started singing when I was 8 years old. There was like a country music review that was next to my house called Johnny Highs. And like I went and sang. My first song I ever sang on stage was, "Oh, you got to have an ace in the hole." It was like a George Strait song.
Yes.
I
You got
know.
to have a name. I remember that
In the
when I was little.
hole. It's a
George
secret that
Strait is so
nobody
great.
knows.
No.
Yeah.
So you started at 8. It was kind of like that Walmart yodeling boy then, like 8, middle of
Yeah.
Texas. Yodel, yodel,
Yeah, I
yodel.
was definitely lanky like that. I had the same type of outfit on. I waited in line for like an hour to audition for this country music review.
So
Yeah.
did you win?
So it wasn't a competition. It was just like an opportunity to get to sing on stage, and but I did make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
My
so
first
then
time singing
that's where I
was
started singing regularly, and then yeah,
I
never
sang at
stopped.
I sang at church.
You sang at church?
Sang at church. Used to lead praise and worship, and I was a lead singer of a Christian rock band called His Voice.
His voice. That's amazing. Do you
Sublimating.
have any recordings?
No, that was back before, I mean, not back before recordings, but back before like people had phones to like quickly
Before you
record
put
stuff.
everything out on Spotify or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. We were in a small town and poor. There was no recording studios or equipment
Yeah.
or anything. There might be like a tape recording somewhere,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was wondering. Is there any
I don't have it
film, any
anymore.
footage?
No, it's like when people ask me, they're like, "Oh my God, I want to see pictures and videos of you in drag when you used to do drag." And I'm like,
You used to do drag?
"Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah,
What
back
was
in
your drag
Missouri."
name?
It was Rachel Grant. No, Jessica Grant. Jessica Grant.
Jessica
Yeah, I know
Grant.
it wasn't that. So I
Shantae,
realized
you
the other
stay,
day,
Jessica.
it was actually my drag mother's last name, Grant, and then Jessica was like my first girl crush when I was a little kid, and so I'm
Oh
like,
my
this
god.
makes sense. This is how you pick your drag name. It's the first girl you had a crush on, and
Yeah.
then
It's like
your
one of those
drag
BuzzFeed
mother.
articles.
Yeah, how did your first girl you had a crush on? But yeah, she was just the first girl I had a crush on because she was so pretty, and I just,
That's
yeah,
always the gay experience. It's like
yeah,
you're really young, you don't want to be gay, so you're like, I'll just like go for the prettiest girl or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. It was so funny. It was Jessica Lean. Hi, Jessica, if you're watching, and Stephanie Hill. They were the two prettiest girls, and I always like tried to go after them because I'm like, oh well, I think this is what you're supposed to do because all my guy friends like they like them, so I guess that's what we're supposed to
Guess
do.
that's what I'll do. Jessica Grant.
Jessica Grant.
I'm obsessed with that.
It's Amy Grant's sister. Yeah.
How many years did you do this?
Hallelujah. Probably just like 6 months because honestly, I was just so poor. My roommates were drag queens, and I'm like, I'll do anything for $1.
Oh my gosh.
No, so it was
I
just
feel like you've had the craziest life of almost anyone I know.
you have no idea. One day I'll write that book.
Just such a journey.
One day I'll write that book.
And now you're like a household name. It's just so cool. It's so cool. You're the glow up.
Thank you.
It's really inspiring.
So speaking of inspiring, you went to UHC?
I went to USC for a year.
USC.
Yeah.
For a year? Did you finish or no?
No.
I didn't finish high school, so I wasn't judging.
After my first year at USC, that summer, I auditioned for the Sing Off, and then we ended up winning right before school started up again. And so I was just like, let's run with this for a bit, and I'll go back to school if Pentatonics doesn't work out.
That's what I said when I was selling long distance at MCI. I was like, you know what? Let me just go with this. I'll go back to school next semester, and then I never did.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. It's like
Exact same story.
Yeah.
So when you guys auditioned, how long had the five of you known each other? Had you been singing together before, or were you just like, you're good, you're good, you're good, let's try to make this on TV?
So I was really, really close to Mitch my whole life since I was 10. And I met
I didn't
Kirsty
know
when I was
that.
15. And then Kirsty and Mitch had known each other for a while too. And so the three of us, I feel like we all like were just friends and silly together all the time. And so when I was putting the group together, I was like, I definitely want Kirsty and Mitch in it. And they were like, sure, we're down. And then I met Kevin. We just like YouTubed him. And when we were searching for beatboxers, I just literally typed in YouTube beatboxers, and a video and a video of Kevin came up. Again, it was going viral that week of him playing cello and beatboxing, and so I messaged him, and Kevin joined the group. And then Avi, or the bass,
Yeah,
original bass, I met through a mutual friend.
nice.
I don't know why that was so hard for me to tell that story.
You're like, all right, what's
I was
the
like, I
real
cannot think.
story and what's
What's
the public story? No.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize that you and Mitch had known each other since you were that little.
Yeah, we
I
were
didn't realize
in
he was a Texas
a
boy.
production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory together.
Who did you play?
I was Charlie, and
Of
Mitch
course.
was Mike TV.
He wasn't the little girl wanting the golden ticket.
I
I want the golden ticket now. Daddy, I
want
want
it
it
now.
now.
What was her
I
name?
want.
Beauregard?
Yeah, Viret. I can't speak today. So started singing when you were 8. How old were you when you guys won the sing off? Because I always forget how
I
young you are.
I I feel not young anymore. I was 19, I think. 19 or just turning 20.
And you're 25,
And I'm
26,
28
28.
now.
God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. It's been almost 3 years since I've known you now. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because I
Which
think
is crazy.
you were 25 when I met you. Yeah. Oh, so we're
Yeah.
exactly 10 years apart. So you're a 92 baby.
Wait, you're 38?
Yeah.
You are aging so well. I always forget that.
I always
Right?
forget. I always forget. I always forgot how young Scott and Mark were until they'd be like, "Oh, let's go out," and we'd go out in New York all night, and then the next night I'd get a text, "Hey, let's go out," and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
But
We
that's so
just did
funny because
that.
that was like 3 years. I haven't been out. Well, obviously in a
Yeah.
while, but like it's like I like Mark and I just like have become such homebodies. It's
Same.
perfect timing for this quarantine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd just be like, "Oh my God, I forget they're 25, and that's how they can do this again the next night
Yeah.
and still be okay because I'm dead and I can't." So music wise, you went to did you start school for music or was that just a side hustle, a side hobby?
Yeah, no, I went to school for music. There was a new pop music program, and so I was in that. But then I joined.
Good
The
pop.
first time I ever did a cappella was in college. USC is I had never heard of it before.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't want to join a frat because that sounded terrifying. So I was
Or fun all at the same
and there
time.
was like a bunch, yeah, or really fun. No, there's a bunch of a cappella groups on campus. It was like known at USC. So I was like, you know what? I like to sing. That'll be a way to meet people.
Cute. Cute, cute, cute.
Yeah.
So when was it when you won the sing off that you realized, all right, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, or was it when you won the Grammys?
When we won the sing off, it was so exciting. But then I feel like the first couple weeks after were a little bit dark because like we got dropped from our label and like our engagement on socials wasn't amazing. And I was like, oh, no one cares anymore, which is why we started a YouTube channel because we were like, maybe this is our way to show ourselves to the world. But I think the moment I was like, oh, we made it was kind of, there was multiple. I feel like when Daft Punk was going viral, when we won our first Grammy, and then when our Christmas album was selling like crazy. I think those are like some of the like pinnacle moments.
Did you walk back into the old label and was like, big mistake?
No, but the CEO of the old label did email our manager and was like, I made a mistake dropping Pentatonics. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, will you come back? You're like, no. Let's see. I have questions written down, but then I get talking to you because we're friends and I forget to ask them.
Yeah.
Oh, for people who don't know, where did the name Pentatonics come from?
Pentatonics. Okay, so it's a scale in music. I feel like a lot of a cappella group names are just like music puns. And so I knew there was five of us, so I was like, the pentatonic scale is the only scale that has five notes, I think. And so maybe there's more
You're
scales with
like,
five notes.
you're
But
like,
it's a
this
very
is the
like
one that
universal
sounds the
music
best.
scale that's like known and understood naturally by people in all cultures. And so
People
I
are
thought that'd be
confirming
cool.
it. People are
And then we
confirming
added an
it.
X at the end to make it cooler.
I feel in these days you either add an X or an I in order to make things cool.
Yeah, totally. But I remember
iPhone,
the sing
iPhone.
off, they were like, we absolutely hate that name. And NBC was like, we're changing it. You can't say it, you can't remember it, you can't spell it, change it. And so we had like a bunch of other names written down, like Perfect Fifth. And like, I think
Oh,
Fifth Harmony might have been one of,
I
one
thought
of
you
them.
said perfect. I thought you said perfect fist for a second. I was like,
Perfect Fifth.
that's a whole different group.
But then we ran out of time and the episode was like airing the next, or shooting the next day. And so we were like, Pentatonics it is.
Well, it worked, and I think people love it.
Yeah, it
And
worked
it's
out.
unique. It's unique.
I'm dying at the comments being like, not perfect fit.
um, See, now that made me look like I heard flat again. Oh, Pitch Perfect. So my first exposure to you guys was Pitch Perfect 2, because I'm old and I don't watch YouTube.
All right.
So how fun was it doing it? Because I know it's one thing. I guess you guys had been on camera with the sing off, but it's still very different because the sing off you're like really truly performing. Where Pitch Perfect
Yeah,
you're performing, but you're still it's not a real performance. You're still acting as well. What was that like?
exactly. It was really cool. Honestly, we wanted to be in Pitch Perfect 2 so bad. So when we got the call, we were like, yes. And it was, it was really quick. The shooting was really quick, but like the day was really long. We showed up, we had like a trailer, and it was really cool because I'd never been on a movie set before. So I was like, this is crazy. And it was just like, it was Rebel Wilson walking by and like
I
Brittany
love her.
Snow being like, oh, hi guys, love y'all. And like, I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I remember Elizabeth Banks came up and was like, I love what y'all do. I love your like energy on stage. I have no direction for you. Just go on stage and sing. And we did it one or two times. And then she was like, it looks great on camera. Y'all are awesome. And then we left. It was like, so it
She's
was such
like,
a wild experience.
I don't need anything else. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Um, the original Pitch Perfect is actually what got me really loving acapella because I mean I had you see it in like old like what's it barbershop quartets and stuff,
Mhm.
but it was never really mainstream. Like I dare to say it wasn't necessarily cool. And then
Right.
Pitch Perfect really made it cool, and the sing
Pitch
off
Perfect made
really
it
made it
cool,
cool.
and so and Glee also, like
Yeah,
their first season when they had the da 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 da, da that like exposed acapella to the world, and that show was just so cool. And so I think that sing off Pitch Perfect all were like big factors in what made acapella and just vocal music kind of cool. And then Pentatonics happened right after, so the timing was insane.
perfect timing. Perfect timing. So like Queer Eye, perfect timing. Perfect timing to come out with a show to show people
Yeah,
that you can
I
still
feel
love
like
each
that
other
show came out
after
when
everyone
everyone
stopped loving
needed
each
it.
other. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody told me to do the cup song. What's the cup song? Oh, that
I got my
one.
ticket for the long way around.
I never know the
Yeah.
words to anything.
I never know the lyrics,
I
ever.
I always make up my own words.
There you go, a songwriter.
No, it's funny. Even the funny thing is, even when I was little, I still remember never knowing the words to anything and always just making up my own words because I'm always listening to the music, not the words.
Yeah, I'm,
And
I'm actually the same way.
and also, I for some reason I can never understand the words. Like I remember one day, Karama and I were driving back from set, and I don't even remember what the song was, but I always just thought it was like a like not even real words. And Karama, who was not really musically inclined at all, was like singing the words after he heard it for the first time. I was like, wait a minute, that's
Yeah,
what they say? And
that's the.
he's like, you can't hear that? I'm like, no, I actually can't. I can tell you every single note in that song, but I can't tell you the words at all.
That's the biggest difference between Mark and I is he is such a lyrics guy. He like always knows the lyrics, and he likes a song if they have good lyrics. But I'm just listening to the melodies. I like
Yeah,
never listen to the lyrics.
same, same. I have no idea what anyone is saying.
Yeah.
It's like that old American Idol audition where she was singing that Mariah Carey song. What was it?
Oh my God, American Idol, America. I feel like that could be any season.
Anyway, it's hilarious. She is completely. She's definitely from like Eastern Europe because of her. I could tell by her accent, but she's singing like a completely different song, and all the judges are like, "Wait, what was this Mariah Carey's blah blah blah?" And she's like, "Yeah." They're like, "But."
He's like, obviously.
They're like, "Those aren't the words." She's like, "No, they are." And they're like, that's me. That's me all the time. But
Same.
when I was
Same.
little, they definitely weren't dirty. Now they're more dirty.
Yeah.
Now they're more dirty. The boys always say I should be the next Weird Al Volkovich,
Yeah.
the next odd
Wait.
Bob Volkovich.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Weird Al?
Oh, Weird Al. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yankovic, right?
Yankovic. See, I don't even know
Oh.
people's names. It's so funny. Going back to
I
Betty
never know
Who.
references, so I was like, oh, this is someone I'm supposed to know.
I met Betty Who at your house that very first night. And
Yeah.
it was so funny because I think either that day or the day before was the day that we had the meeting with Netflix where they told us we were going to do a music video with Betty Who.
Mm.
And I was like, who? Like, I don't know who that is. I only knew about her because recently I had been seeing her on so many of my friends' Insta feeds, like, because she was touring
Oh, yeah.
and everybody I knew was obsessed with her. But again, I didn't know who anybody
She's
was.
the gay fave for sure.
So at your party that night, I met her and I really hit it off with her. And I still didn't know who she was because I'd only seen videos from her like on stage, so not close up. And she had introduced herself by her birth name, like not Betty Who.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, that's just, she's real cute, real sweet. And then it wasn't until the next day when Netflix sent us a bunch of stuff about what we were going to be doing with the music video. I was like, oh my God, that was Betty. But I still didn't really know what she's saying. And it wasn't until like 2 months into her and I's friendship where we're like texting all the time and hanging out in New York, like with you, that I guess one day Dewey, when he saw me talking to her, was like, all right, I'm gonna have to figure out who this person is. And he started YouTubing her songs. And as I'm like texting her, I hear her songs in the background. And I was like, Dewey, who is that? I love that song. And he's like, that's Betty.
You're like, wait, I've been a stan this whole time. I
realized it was like 4 of her songs that I loved. I had no idea who was singing it. I hear the song and I'm like, oh, I love that song, but I never really look at my screen who it is.
I know. She has quite the catalog. I am like obsessed with her music.
She's the best.
I met her because I was just like such a fan. And I knew my friend Vince was friends with her. And I was like, can I FaceTime her? If she has a free moment.
Vince,
yeah,
the amazing
singer? I Love You Always Forever. You know how Spotify did that, like,
I love you always
that, like,
forever.
Your most played songs the past decade. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And it was like, I Love You Always Forever was my most played song of the decade. And I was like, Betty Who, I'm such a stan.
Your holiday album came up in my most played because I put for my furniture launch at our showroom, I put on Pentatonics playlist because it's perfect. It's not, I don't have to worry about any songs coming on that are going to be offensive to anybody. And it's usually things like when people walk through, they like bob their head to because they know it. It's a great beat. But I again, some of the pop ones I have to worry about in the Midwest furniture gallery. Maybe they're being offensive. So I'm like, I know with Pentatonics, I never have to worry about it being offensive and everyone's always going to love it. But it kept putting the Christmas album in more than anything. Right. So like in October or April, whenever that launch was, it was like your Christmas music over and over. And people kept going in, they're like, why is Christmas music on? They're like, but you know what? I don't hate it. I'm not minding this. You can keep it on.
Like, that's the dream. Pentatonics' dream is that Christmas music is appropriate all year long.
So this last year, it was your guys' Christmas album and Lizzo. That was my 2 tops. And a few from Betty's album as well.
Wow. That's a good playlist.
So moving on from Pentatonics and Betty, so Superfruit. For any Pentatonics fans, which I doubt anybody that's your fan doesn't know Superfruit, but tell people what's Superfruit.
Superfruit is Mitch and I's project, and we released an album, I think 2 years ago now. Time is flying. And then we did a little tour, and it's just like us being silly.
Yeah? Is it all original music or covers?
It was all original music for our album.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was like our way of like doing something with production and more poppy and yeah.
Yeah, it seems fun. Let's see, what else? Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions for you? What's been like your schedule every day?
Nothing. No.
Nothing.
I mean, I don't want to say this has been great because obviously this whole situation is not great, but
Exactly.
it's been for on a personal note, been kind of nice to there you go. It's been
Yeah.
kind of nice to have a moment.
Hmm.
Our schedule's been so crazy the last 3 years. This is the longest this is the longest I've been in one spot in 10 years.
Yeah, I completely. I haven't felt like this in like since I was a kid. I'm like with actually nothing to do because I've just been like hustling and going nonstop for so many years. And so it has been nice. The stillness has been nice, but the anxiety that comes with a pandemic has not been nice. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The anxiety usually hits me at night when
Hmm.
I'm like laying on the sofa watching TV, and then I start like thinking about things, and I'm like, oh God, no,
Yeah.
none of that. Never mind.
Right.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh right, let's have a glass of wine or three.
yeah. I've mostly I've been really working on my fitness. Like I think I'm in the best shape right now that I've maybe ever been.
Oh my
I've been
gosh,
working
I
out twice
cannot
a
relate.
day, running, intermittent fasting. Like I actually, it's 2:30
Good
in the
for
afternoon and
you.
I still haven't eaten. Um,
I've just been like, guess we'll order McDonald's again. Like I've not been killing it. Yeah, I have been
no.
Pelotoning though, so it hasn't been a total disaster. But
Tonal sent me. Have you seen the Tonal?
what's tonal?
It's a full body workout machine. It's like with cables, like a cable
Oh, I've
machine,
seen
but
that on your story. Yeah.
yeah, it's all electronic. It has been a lifesaver. Without that, I
Okay.
would be 400 pounds right now. Because I
I'm
would
gonna
just
look
be
it up.
it's been really, really great. And then I've been doing, every Thursday a live with Bobby. The first couple weeks I did really nothing because I'm like, oh, you know,
Same,
this
same.
is great. But then by like week 2 or 3, I'm like, you know what? I need to start having some set things
Yeah,
on
it's
my
like in
life.
your DNA to work really hard, so it's like
Yeah.
unnatural for you to just
Uh,
sit around all the time.
I've been doing a lot of content for publications. I did some great content for People. I'm doing some stuff for some other, like for Elle and Cosmo, and just trying to keep myself busy. Doing
Yeah.
live workouts with Zach and Dewey on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah.
Keeping
Schedule.
myself in shape, keep people in shape. I am though sleeping in. Like I've always been a night person. Like I love staying up to like 1, 2, 3 o'clock at night. That's just the way I've always been, and
Yeah.
sleeping
Same.
late. And I've been able to do that. I've been like sleeping till like 10 in the morning.
Yeah. I'm getting up at around 10:30 every day, which
Yeah,
is crazy,
yeah,
but I've been enjoying it.
it's been nice. Um, oh, one thing I wanted to talk about. So your last tour, actually all of your tours, I love seeing the Instagram stories of the crowds.
Mm.
Um, the first time I saw them, they literally made me cry a few times because just seeing you guys up there on stage and seeing how much these crowds, and not like little venues, like stadiums, how happy you guys make people and how
Oh,
people are able to really just find so much joy in your music. Every time I see that, it just makes me so emotional.
oh, thank you.
Um, how does that feel?
I mean, it feels insane because like it's your dream your whole life to have a crowd like that, and we have done what? Not, we did like 80 shows last year or something crazy, and I just like every single time I'm on stage, it's like really, really overwhelming. And I always at the end of the show, I take both ears out and just like feel the presence of the crowd for a second, and it's really overwhelming. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it makes me emotional for many reasons. It makes me emotional because I'm so happy for you, and because I can see the look on your face,
Mm.
and I can tell how you're in your element. And then it also makes me emotional because, growing up, like I wanted to sing, so like I can kind of feel how that makes you feel, and
Totally. Yeah.
it makes me happy. It makes me
Yeah,
happy.
there's all these like pictures that fans post on Twitter and stuff of me like crying on stage.
But see, that's what I love about it because, a lot of times when people get to the level that you've gotten to, they get a bit jaded and they go on autopilot and it doesn't really mean anything anymore. And I think that's why seeing those moments with you do make me emotional because I know you and I know you're not jaded. And I know those moments are all very genuine emotion. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No,
moving.
thanks for saying that.
Of course, it's nice to see. So what's next for you? What's next for Pentatonics when all this is over?
What's next? So we're going back on tour right after all this is over.
I've never in my life seen anyone that tours more than you guys.
I know we're nonstop. We have 2 shows at the Hollywood Bowl in July, and I think hopefully they happen. That's like that, but that'll be the next thing. And then we're working on an original album that we're gonna put out soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys been working on stuff right now? Have you been
Yeah, we
sit
lucked
down?
out because we recorded everything, and
Oh,
then now we're just working on mixes.
nice. Are you doing all that yourself, or do you have a sound mixer producer that does it?
We have different producers for different songs that are like doing mixes back and forth via emo.
Right. Right now, I am sound, I am lighting, I am editing, and post
Yeah.
production.
The only thing I don't do is the camera work because that's Mark.
Yeah, no, some Dewey isn't the most helpful camera assistant.
Yeah.
So Zach usually helps me. Because Dewey is not a good assistant, period. Dewey wants to direct.
Yeah.
He's a director, so it's best. I usually don't ask him to help me because then it probably ends up in a little.
Yeah. I'll get a little diva sometimes. I'll be like, no, I need you to move the camera in quicker and blah blah blah. And Mark is like, okay.
Exactly. Dewey's like, no, I don't want to do it like that. This is the way I want to do it. And I'm like, you don't understand how I'm going to edit this. I need it like this. All right. Well, babe, this has been fun.
Aw, this has been so fun. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, I love you, and I can't wait to see you when this is all over.
I love you so much. Congrats on everything.
All right. Love you, everybody. Hey, I'm going to have this up on my Instagram for the rest of the day, and then we will also download it and have it up in highlights on YouTube as well. All right. Love you. Bye, everybody. Love you, Scott.
Bye.
Bye.